So it's coming. It's coming right now. And it will transform the world into a golden age, whether you make the white powder or not. Alchemy is actually trying to create the golden age in a localized environment, in your home, or in your church, or in your community, right, of the golden age. So there's a little localized golden age going on. So Tantra is. Tantra is how to make a little golden age in the center of your village, or whatever. Anyway, any more questions?
Could you talk about number 72? What does that symbolize? And also estrogen.
Which one?
Estrogen.
Estrogen?
Going down.
Okay, 72 is a number of years. You know, remember our precession of the equinox? It takes 26,000 years to go through one precession. Well, 1 degree of that, that's 360 degrees, 1 degree of that is 72 years. Okay? Here's where this gets really weird. If you live to be 72 years old, you lived through 1 degree of this 26,000 year long period. 1 degree, 1/360th of this period, right? In 72 years, there's 26,000 days. Remember I was telling about 260 and the harmonics being part of the timing frequency? You have 260 days, you're in gestation, then you start living, and you live 26,000 days, and then you die. Okay? So in 1 degree, 1/360th degree of the 26,000 year long precession of the equinoxes is 72 years, and 1 72-year period has 26,000 days in it. That's the kind of coincidences that should really make you like stand up and go, what? What? And you can see there's this 260, 26,000 pattern. And that's how life evolves. Any other questions?
Yes. I'd like you to go back to one of your slides of the alchemy etchings that you had that you had wished it was in color.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one. I don't think it's working. Maybe it will in a second.
Oh, it's not going
Anyway,
back.
what are you telling me about?
Well, I wanted to ask what your thoughts were about the figures in the etching.
Those were the alchemists.
Right. I noticed the central figure was standing on a conjoined lion. You had the lion in the bottom, and their two heads were together.
Right.
And then the central figure was basically standing on the back of the lion.
That's right.
And then on each side, flanking the lions, were two eagles.
That's right.
Which is almost identical to the Sumerian sculpture of Ishtar, who stands. She's a winged goddess of the underworld.
That's
she
right.
stands on the back of two lions, and she's flanked by owls, which are basically the same symbolism as the eagles that have the great sight.
Well, in alchemy, when you make the elixir, you go through different stages. And they're called the red lion and the eagle. And what happens is the elixir changes color. But also, that's unlocalized. Oh, great, I'm going the wrong way. That's localized alchemy, making it in a vial. But all the Earth's alchemy happens in between the signs of Leo and Scorpio. And Scorpio, in the ancient days, was an eagle. I'll show you here in a second. Almost there. Okay, here's Jesus in the Great Hall at Chartres, and you can see on the lower left hand is a lion, and on the upper right hand is an eagle. And that's because those are the signs of Scorpio and Leo. There it is again. When the galactic alignment occurs right here, which causes the vortice to line up in the right way so that time begins to unfold in a more cogent fashion. And now I've lost it again. Here we go. All right.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep. And so you can see on the right side is darkness, and on the left side is light, right? And he's caught, the alchemist is caught between the two worlds, between darkness and light. And he noticed that the lion has one head, but two bodies, okay? So it's when Leo is conjoined. And this is why the Sphinx, which is a lion, is the most important thing in Egypt. Egypt is pointing towards this galactic alignment. The Sphinx is east, pointing towards Leo, okay? So when Leo is east, that's when the time of the great change occurs, okay? Or when Leo is directly behind the lion, and Aquarius is in front of the lion, okay? So every 13,000 years, it's either Aquarius or it's Leo, okay? So the Sphinx is watching this great clock as it goes around. And right now we're in Aquarius, which is the time of the Golden Age, whereas the time of the Leo is the time when we slipped from the Silver Age to the Bronze Age, which was the cataclysm. We're not going to go through a big cataclysm now, not one from outside, but we're going to go through one of our own making, which is what we're going through. Any other questions?
Yeah, I actually have one. You wouldn't happen to know how far we are from the galactic center of our Milky Way, would you?
You mean the exact center?
Well, yeah, or...
How about 26,000 light years?
Ha, ha, ha.
That's the truth. We're 26,000 light years from the Milky Way. Now that's not measured by time, space. That's measured by time. Light years is time. It's not, miles or something, which is arbitrary. It's saying it takes 26,000 light years for that light to reach us. 26,000 years. So even our distance is weirdly connected to this whole thing. Another thing is we sit right in the middle of the equator of the Milky Way, which is weird. We could be up here or down here or anywhere, but we're right there where that stream is coming out of the Milky Way. We're right at the crossroads of where this thing occurs. I used to be an investigative journalist, and we'd say, well, if there's one coincidence in this case, like a murder or a bank robbery or something, if there's one coincidence, we'll let that go. But if there's two coincidences, there's something fishy here, right? And you can always find who did what by following the weird coincidences. Cui bono, who wins, right? I had nothing to do with it, but I made all the money from it, And here there are so many coincidences that it just becomes just like, if this was a murder case, I would say, I couldn't even begin to tell you because there's just so many coincidences here that it's ridiculous. And I call it the cosmic coincidence machine. And I want to say one last thing about that. If a lot of synchronicities, you know what synchronicities are, coincidences in your life? If you're getting a lot of synchronicities happening, you better wake up. Somebody's trying to tell you something. As soon as I have one weird synchronicity, I begin hyper aware, like when that mountain lion was in front of me. I'm looking everywhere now, looking for synchronicities, looking for weird coincidences. And surfers, I used to surf. A good surfer is not somebody who's athletically gifted. You have to be athletically gifted to be a good surfer. But a good surfer is not necessarily athletically gifted. A good surfer is someone who knows where the wave is going and can adjust the board to the wave, not the wave to him, because he will never beat the wave. Okay? So a good surfer is someone who can see, knows the way water flows, knows the way it's going, knows to tilt the board right, tilt the board left, keep himself going, and he knows how to ride that wave. That's how you will succeed in this world, is not by forcing the issue, but by riding the wave. And the wave is a tsunami. And this is going to be the greatest surf ride in history. Yes?
I just recently become aware of fractals.
Ah, my favorite. I almost brought a video of fractals to show you.